my name is Aoife Deane and this is the Happy Weight Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm really excited about talking about manifesting because I'm just like, it's just such a fun topic. It is such a fun topic, and like all of us have areas of our life that we want to improve. And the cool thing about learning about the success mindset, law of attraction, manifesting, whatever you want to call it, is that it helps all the areas of your life. And if you want to know how good or bad your mindset is in a certain area, just look at the results you're producing in that area of your life. And this was all massively life-changing for me. If you've listened to other episodes of this podcast, and if you have, please like and subscribe or follow, that would be really cool. But like, sure, all the nutrition stuff didn't really do much for me. Like I always kind of say that, like, you could, I got a degree in nutrition and dietetics, and you could know how much milligrams of iron is in 100 grams of broccoli, but it doesn't mean you can stop binge eating Doritos. Like nutrition is completely separate almost from either being someone with a weight problem or someone who is being someone with a healthy weight, and a great relationship with food and a great relationship with our body. So I want to start with how we manifest the wrong weight, like how we're basically doing an anti-manifest. Well, no, we're always manifesting, but it's just, what are we manifesting? So let's get straight to it. So the first one is, I suppose, to get a goal, to manifest something, we'd have to be crystal clear on what we want. So what would not clear look like? So not clear would look like, I don't want to get fatter. I don't want to stay this fat. I don't want to be eating so much sugar. I always think about, like, if I'm minding my little nieces and nephews, and if they're in a tantrum and they're like, I don't want spaghetti. And if it's a situation where it's like, fine, what do you want? Because it's not a clear enough instruction to say, I don't want one thing, when there's an infinite amount of possibilities. So when we're kind of saying, I don't want to overeat tonight, like, that's not clear enough as to what we actually do want. Every minute spent on what you don't want is taking you away from getting the goal. And I found that accountability huge, because I could really see, sure, of course I haven't manifested anything good with my eating and weight. Sure, all I'm thinking about is what's wrong with my body, what's wrong with my eating. The second one is that we have a vision plus strong emotion. The thing behind the secret, or the law of attraction and everything, is the emotion behind it will kind of supercharge it. I know when clients are in a really, 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 really bad place, the intense self-loathing and hate will be huge. So if we kind of look at the intensity of our emotion as a fuel to go in a certain direction, they are going in a bad spot and they are going there quickly. I know with working with clients, they'll have a lot of like, I don't want to be unhealthy as my kids grow up or whatever. It's a real soul sinking feeling. So the power of that emotion is manifesting something. But again, are you now manifesting with that strong emotion something you do want or something you don't want? And like, I didn't have those ones. I had strong shame and I had strong disappointment, and I did a lot of like very intense scolding myself. You promised you would not eat sweets this week. And Esther Hicks says it's kind of like there's a train that can go in that direction or that direction, and it's kind of like, say, your fear and your anger and all your intense emotions for what you don't want is bringing you to that goal. But then, like, say, strong emotions towards what you do want is fast tracking you to those. The next one is feel the emotions now. Like dieting and all that stuff, we can waste years and years and years on it, because the feeling is still, I'm a fat girl trying to get slim. We're still operating on a level of I'm a person with a weight problem. You can't change the situation until you change within the situation. We really have to position ourselves now as someone with a very healthy relationship with food. And part of a very healthy relationship with food, they've added it to the food pyramid and the balance of good health, is that you're having calories with others, because I suppose, say, binge eating, obesity, all of that kind of stuff can be us finishing packets in our car on our own somewhere feeling awful. So it's like we have to force ourselves to be a different person now. If you want crisps, make sure you're having crisps with the kids. And if you're having cake, do your best effort to be like, okay, me and my colleague are going down to Starbucks or whatever and getting a slice of cake. Like, bringing people in to your eating. What you're not allowed to do is, us scuttling into the pantry and opening something and being hunched over and being like, oh geez, I'm at it again. I've broken my diet. I'm like, no. You're not sending that signal out. Like when you're manifesting and doing law of attraction and all that stuff, you have to be way more accountable, because you actually can't wake up the next morning after a binge and be like, I'm fat, I'll always be fat, because you're then not clear on your goal emotions. Like, we have to be clear on the feeling we will have when we already have the goal. And we need to be increasing the amount of time, the amount of minutes, hours, days that we are operating from that feeling of having it already. When you're clear on the feeling that you'll have when you have a great relationship with food and a great relationship with your body, you'll know the thoughts and the feelings you cannot get away with. And you can be super, super accountable, that you can be like, okay, Aoife, if you want a day off improving your body, cool, just like own it. But this sulking isn't manifesting. Yeah. I got to be very frank with myself. And so, like I said, it's so much more comfortable to say like, oh no, I'll be good tomorrow and I'll go to the gym. It's like, change your emotion now. Like, the work is always now. The work is never, planning to buy a treadmill. It's kind of like that saying as well. There is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. The biggest mistake is thinking, I will be happy when I lose the weight. It's like, no, you would need to be happy, and you would need to really build skills on how to be happy every day, what you would need to focus your mind on, what you would need to focus your attention on, gratitude, all of that stuff in order to be happy, because that will relieve comfort eating, and it will relieve all the fear that leads to binging and the weight that comes on our body from binging and overeating. And then the next one, act like a person who expects good things. This is a nice one, isn't it? So it's like, if you knew it was going to work out, how would you be acting? The weight was definitely going off, yeah, and you're definitely going to become your ideal weight. Like, what would you be doing? What would you be signing up to? What would you be enjoying? What would you be saying about yourself? So you're operating from, a zone of love and trust and hope. And I would say as well, you're being the real you. You're because the real you, fear is false evidence appearing real. So when we have lots of fear around our eating and our body and our future with our eating and body, that's false evidence appearing real. It's really, really not the real you. The real you is underneath all of that fear. So when we get to be hopeful, and like, I just can't talk about any of this stuff without putting back my shoulders and putting my chin up, because like, I just really feel, for me, I think it's the same for everyone. We can have two personas. We can have the us and a weight problem. We can have the us without a weight problem. And I know the like me binging in the pantry or finishing packets of stuff was like sad face, hunched over, like, kind of a more down body posture. But the elevated one, and that's another reminder, it's like we have to elevate ourselves out of this problem, So again, we're operating from the level of, I assume it will work out. I assume I will figure this all out in my own cool way, in my own cool time. And there is no rush, because I'll always be in this body. I'll always have this mind. So, and there is no, set course, because no one has ever been me in my life with my head and my mind and my thoughts and my social circles and my emotions and all of that. So it's all for the taking. It's all unwritten, as Natasha Bedingfield says. Then trusting the timing and letting go of obsessing. So when will I lose the weight? How will I lose the weight? When will I lose the weight? How will I lose the weight? And we're just stuck on that heavy rotation of thought. We're in around the dirt, and we're in the kind of crevices of our mind, being like, maybe if I ate one slice of toast less for my breakfast, or I don't know, we're just like really being itty bitty about it, Like I remember for me, just kind of going by my fitness pal and calories and points and all of that, it's so depressing. And instead it's like, we want to elevate ourselves. Actually, can I just read that Rumi poem? I love it so much. You were born with potential. You were born with goodness and trust. You were born with ideals and dreams. You were born with greatness. You were born with wings. You are not meant for crawling, so don't. You have wings. Learn to use them and fly. So it's like, we don't need to be messing around in the dirt. We can, elevate ourselves up to, I am a person that can figure this out. I am moving forward. I have my own cool way, my own cool time. It's just a very, very different wavelength level of thinking than maybe I will lose weight, maybe I won't, maybe I'm stuck here forever, maybe I should do this, blah, 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 blah. Another Rumi quote that I just really, really love. Out beyond the ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there, where the soul lies down in the grass and the world is too full to talk about. So I love that, just getting beyond the noise. Manifesting the way you want to be, or proper manifesting, would be like, your job is not the how, your job is not the when, your job is the feeling at the destination, the feeling at the destination, the feeling at the destination. So you need to be unmovable from the feeling at the destination. So I'm a slim person. I've already lost weight. Oh my God, feels good saying all of these things. I've already lost weight. I love letting go of stuff I no longer need. I love moving forward. I love pivoting, learning, growing, moving forward. I love eating in a way that suits me. I love eating in my own unique, cool way, whatever. So we are just being that person. We are unmovable. And I just kind of think with any goal, with any dream, it's like, you have to have faith in the unseen. If you don't have faith in the unseen, it's like, give up now. Like, I just kind of think of it with starting my business or something. If I was kind of like, I don't think my business will take off, or I don't think it will do well. It's like, yeah, cool. It just wouldn't have. That'd be the end of it. Like, as in, I wouldn't have even got through the first month. It just wouldn't. Or if you went to, an interview for a job or something, and you're like, I'd say I wouldn't be good at this job. I think they'd be like, cool. You didn't get it. You can go home. You know what I mean? So it's the same with this. Like, we have to be the person who has the thing, and that is our job, to stay there. And the when it will happen and the how it will happen is none of your business. And all the coolest things in life, like people you've met, opportunities you've got, like happy memories, like, you have to have faith in the unseen. You have to have hope. You have to believe in miracles. A Course in Miracles, I think, or Gabby Bernstein says it a lot too, is that miracles are natural. When they're not happening, something is up. And then that Roald Dahl quote, those who don't believe in magic will never find it. Like, I know for me, I was like, I am deciding to twist my brain into the brain of someone without a weight problem, and my body has to catch up. Like, as in, if my brain is just here and it's not moving, I am a slim person that's very good at like minding my body, my eating, etc. I am staying here, and my body will just have to catch up, and life will have to catch up. It's just a really fun way of doing it. So getting crystal clear on what you want. So that does not mean what you don't want. That's not your world anymore. You don't need to think about obesity, overeating, too much sugar, cholesterol, whatever. That's not your world. You don't want anything to do with it. So your world is slimmer, lighter, fitter, happier, progress, pivoting, learning, tweaking, all of that stuff. Then the emotion behind it. So you really have to catch the strong guilt, the strong shame, the strong regret. So we want now our emotions to be like the hope, the excitement about the progress and the lightness and, everything that we're getting. So we want way more emotions, positive emotions around where we're going, rather than negative emotions to where we don't want to be. And then feeling the feeling of having it now. This is a huge one. So like I said, in dieting, we would always feel like a fat girl getting slim, and we would be just going about our bits, doing our shopping, doing our cooking, doing our eating, still feeling like a fat girl. So that explains why we would have created a weight problem. Manifesting would be that you are the slim girl now, and you're operating from that level, and be a person who expects great things. And then the last one is that your job is not the how, it's not the when, it's the vibe, it's the feeling, it's the person you're going to be. It's being that person now in all situations, all conditions, all choices or whatever, you were being that person without a weight problem. So I hope today's episode was helpful. Sorry, I'm slightly or very over caffeinated, so that's why I'm like a bee in a jam jar, I think, with my talking. But thanks so much for being here, and have a lovely, lovely week. Mwah.